All right, we will get this meeting of the Board of Supervisors started. We'll call it to order and start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we are going to move to public comments. Is anyone that is on interested in making their own public comment other than what we've received via email? Again, trying to figure out this technology, so bear with us. Okay. I'm not seeing anybody typing anything, so I need that back. Okay, we received one public comment via email, so I'm going to go ahead and read that at this time. This is a public comment from Michelle Grove, resident of Gregg Township. And Michelle's comment is, today marks day 574 from a simple right to know request filed to Gregg Township for security footage of 2 employees entering and exiting the old Gregg school. At the time of this request, the township had already lost a nearly identical case after 18 months of litigation. That's not counting the township's request for re-argument and subsequent enforcement filing. Again, this is a public comment. The very evening the request was filed 574 days ago, the township finally provided a bunch of chopped up, overlapping videos in response to the Commonwealth's court order in a nearly identical case. To date, the township has been fighting the release of videos for more than 3 years and 3 months nonstop. Despite what you were told at the town hall, the township did not miss the deadline to appeal to the Supreme Court because that denial was not received. That was a lie. Again, reiterating that this is a public comment. The real purpose of the town hall was to incite the community to retaliate against the requester on the township's behalf. The township needed to focus on litigating 5 more appeals in court, meant to be 6, because the requested records were deleted. In other words, the town hall was a cover-up. At a hearing on March 4th of this year, the requester was better prepared than the township anticipated. Because of this, the township had no choice but to admit the records were long gone. The township had intended to deceive the court again by lying, and it did not work this time. The township has refused to inform the public of this, even though the public is footing the entire bill. Once again, reiterating that this is a resident's public comment. Some of you may be wondering, isn't there a better time to address this than during a global pandemic? The answer is yes. The township should have provided these records in September of 2018, as the law requires. The township should have told the public the truth at the town hall in December of 2018. The township should have been truthful to the court in 2019, instead of saying the requester has no basis for her bald claims that the records were deleted. The township should have told Judge Oliver the records were gone and accepted punishment. Again, reiterating this is a public comment. Instead, the township stalled further, providing over 7,000 unrelated video clips for the requester to sift through. The footage provided to the requester included many, many recordings of the very children the township claimed to have been protecting. It was never about the children. The truth is, Gregg Township doesn't like the right to know law. The supervisor and solicitors will do anything to avoid transparency, even if it means risking jail and disbarment. The township also lied about the $100,000 plus lawsuit. The requester was seeking production of records she had already won. Rather than simply providing those records, the township testified under oath that they did not exist. That was also a lie. Thank you for your time. Again, that was public comment that was submitted by a resident from the township. No statement out of that was from the township itself. Are there any other public comments? I don't see anybody else on at this moment. And Pam, nobody else submitted anything for public comment. Okay. I just want to let everyone know too that the entire Board of Supervisors is here, Supervisor Beerley, Supervisor Stover, and myself, as well as the Secretary and the Roadmaster. So we will move on from public comments then. This is an abbreviated meeting with just essential items that we need to get through for township business. So Secretary Treasurer's report, I will entertain a motion to approve the March 12th, 2020 Board of Supervisors meeting minutes.
I will make that motion.
Second here.
Any further discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimous. I will entertain a motion to approve the March 28th, 2020 Board of Supervisors special meeting minutes.
I'll make the motion.
I will second it.
Any further discussion?
No.
No, not here.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimous. I will entertain a motion to accept and approve the all funds financial report.
I will make that motion.
Second here.
Any further discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimous. On to Roadmaster's report. The first thing for Roadmaster's report is that bids were opened at noon today for both the 2020 stone bid as well as the Dirt and Gravel Road Veneta Gap grant project. We received from Hanson Aggregates, was the only person who put in a bid for the stone portion. HRI was the only person that put in for the, what do you refer to that as? Blacktop portion of the stone bids. So we can decide whether we award Hanson the stone portion and HRI the blacktop portion, or it's the same as the previous years in terms of who had a bid for it. I think things went up about, what did I say, 25 cents for some, about 30 cents for most of them.
I will make the motion to go ahead and accept those bids.
Okay, so the motion is to accept the bids from Hanson Aggregates and HRI for the 2020 stone bids.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, any further discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries unanimous. The other bids that we had received were for the Veneta Gap Dirt and Gravel Road project that we were granted last year. So we had put the numbers together expecting it to be under the threshold of 27,000. So the grant we were awarded was for 25, just over 24.5. The bids came in higher. So we received two bids, one from Glen O'Haw-Bakers for $32,945, and the other from John Clare for $36,300. Obviously those are significantly higher than what we were awarded the grant for. I did talk to PennDOT about what we can do. So we have options. We can accept one of those bids, obviously Glen O'Haw-Bakers being the lowest, or we can reject the bids and try another way to get the to what the awarded amount was, which would include, we just did the stone bids. So our DSA, we already have that as part of the stone bid that way. So we can get phone quotes for the equipment, a paver and an equipment operator, which should come in significantly less. So that's another option we could do. Or we could throw them out and we could rebid it the whole thing if we wanted to, but I think that we should reject the bids and try and go the other route. Otherwise, we have to fork out an extra $7,000 above what the grant
Yeah,
amount was.
Yeah. Okay, so we would hire an operator, in other words.
Right, instead of the whole project, including the
yeah,
stone,
yeah.
you know, we can purchase the stone through
Yeah,
our stone
yeah,
bid,
yeah.
purchase the DSA through that,
Yeah,
and go the route of the equipment and the equipment operator.
okay,
And that would be significantly below the,
okay, all right,
Like around 7,000 less.
yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll make the motion that we buy the stone and hire equipment operator.
We have to.
yeah, make the motion to reject the,
Oh, I gotta do that first.
bids.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we reject both bids. One from Hawbaker and the other from
I'll second that.
okay, any further discussion?
No.
no.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries unanimous. Okay, so we will go the route then of
Essentially,
of getting prices for what it would be for the,
yeah, we're essentially going on our own on this.
So we could do 3 phone bids.
Pardon me?
3 phone bids.
Yeah,
We could go the route
yeah,
for getting
yeah,
them
for
on
the
the-
operator and equipment, yeah, okay. How do you want to word that motion? What was that?
I'll entertain a motion that we get 3 phone bids for getting a paver and an equipment operator in order to place the DSA on the Benita Gap
Okay.
Dirt and Gravel Road project.
Okay. All right. That's the motion. I will second it.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries unanimous. Other discussion on the roads is what we want to do moving forward, because we're at the point in the time of year where we need to decide if we are moving forward with other road work that we had planned, such as the Gingrich Gap project. We had talked about paving this little portion out here of, what is that considered?
I don't even know if there's a name on that road.
This little triangle
they
piece
call
out here.
wolves. The little, we spend enough time cold patching it year after year and it's nothing but pain. We swept it the other day and it's not really easy to sweep or do anything to it. I mean, I think we talked to Matt and about that last year and pricing wise. I mean, it's still gonna be obviously cost something, but it's not gonna break us to do that small project. But more or less my concern was with everything going on here now, was if we could even get people to do things. I spoke with Pine Creek Township yesterday that usually does tar and chipping, and they said they were still planning on being up and running and doing everything. So I guess my question to you guys is, do we want to take a more conservative approach towards this year, or do we want to go and just keep things going as normal? If we take the conservative approach, there's plenty of things that we could get done with, I would say, minimal costs as far as, you know, running a grader, getting the ditches in the water where it needs to go. Obviously with the rain the way it is of late, you can't really fix something permanently, but it's going to be better. All we have is diesel fuel in that, or some of these roads, culvert pipes are starting to sink, and you know, I spoke with Terry the other day and said, I don't want to be faced with, you know, say next year we're gonna fix Green Grove,
Mhm.
and there's, you know, probably 20 some culvert pipes on that road. I don't want to be stuck
Mhm.
fixing 20 pipes with only a year to do it in
Yeah.
case something
You mean
happens.
Bittner Hollow?
Any road, regardless of what we would do. We could take that more conservative approach, or we could, you know, keep going on the tar and chip and the Gator Gap, whatever. It all needs done, and we're kind of behind on the tar and chip as far as I'm concerned. I mean, if we don't keep up with that, with the amount of salt that we put down the cracks, I mean, a lot of the roads are cracked to the point where running the sealing machine, it's beyond that. You'd have spots that were nothing but tar. So, I mean, there's a lot of different routes we could head. I just wanted you guys' input on that. I still recommend, last year, you guys said about putting, we put the stone down in Lingle Valley and we got half of that done in a week. I want that finished. I'd love to finish that and be done. There's other places we could go on.
Yeah.
So I guess direction as far as, if you guys want to take a more conservative approach towards this year, or do we want to just keep going as if things are normal?
So with Gingrich Gap, you're thinking of tar and chipping that only?
No, Gingrich Gap is, the shape of the road is just a complete mess. First thing, which we're gonna do regardless, there's some wet spots down there that every year just keep cracking up. I mean,
Yeah.
there's milk truck on that road, there's farm equipment on that road, and believe it or not, you know, Penske weekend, Grange Fair weekend, that is kind of a major crossover road. There is some traffic on that at points, but some of the wet spots, we're gonna dig up at least and put 4s and then 2A on top of it and try and fix some of the worst base issues on that. And then instead of the full depth reclamation, which we did on Grenable Road, that all is dictated on how that turns out when you tar and chip on top of it by the guy running the grader. Well, if the guy running the grader ain't doing that great, then tar and chip's not gonna smooth anything out. Whatever that finished product is after the full depth reclamation,
Right.
that's it.
Yep.
So that's why we were thinking about trying something different on Gingrich Gap, going in, potentially tearing the road up with the ripper on the grader, rolling it, having somebody come in, put 6 inches of DSA down with the paver, reshaping the road, adding base to the road, and then tar and chipping on top of it. At least it might not be the answer or the permanent fix, but at least we're knowing we're getting something towards the base of the road and we're fixing the shape of it. And the cost is gonna be, I mean, it's gonna be fairly close to the same as the full depth reclamation, but probably not quite as much. And at least we're getting 6 inches of stone underneath the road.
Okay, so you're thinking of doing that this year?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And the rest of it is pretty much play catch up with culverts and ditches and things like that.
Yeah, and the tar and chip, I mean, there's a lot of roads. I mean, last year we put off Klein Road with the tar and chip point because of not 100% knowing what's going on with the sewer line.
Yeah.
We want to tar and chip it and then have the sewer tear it up, which didn't end up being that way. And part of the road needs tar and chip. There's some other ones on the other side that might not look that bad, but if we tar and chip now, it could help prolong a decent road. So I like to try and tar and chip, you know, a road that's not that great to hold it together and a road that's decent to keep it up every year at least. The way we do things now, we can't afford to pave every year. So we gotta do something to try and seal the cracks up and something to try and prolong the life of the road. So either, I mean, we can do Gingrich Gap in like Lingle Valley this year, and then in the DSA on Bonita Gap, and then just, you know, do culverts and greater work, or we can keep tar and chipping and do all of it. I'm just looking at sense of direction of which way you guys want to head as far as, you know, with everything going on now. My biggest fear was people not being able to do the work, but it seems like there was still at least 2 people that bid on the DSA project, and I know Pine Creek still plans the tar and chip. So I guess it's all in which direction everybody wants to head.
So Lingle Valley, you're talking about DSA?
No, we put 2A on it last year.
Oh, so that's.
Yeah,
what
we
you
did it ourselves, and
2A.
I mean, DSA with the pavers, I would say more perfect, but us putting it down with the machine, the DSA, we had a mild winter, but the 2A, it held up.
I personally would rather take the conservative route. That's my
Which is what
opinion.
you're giving us, right?
What do you consider as the conservative
Yeah, I
route?
mean, do we want to not tar and chip it any more than we have to, or?
I would say do what we need to, and let's give it another month, see what happens with this situation.
My only fear is like the guy from Pine Creek Township, like I talked to him yesterday to see if they're still doing stuff, and they're starting to get work in. So I wanna know what we're doing for the summer, because that kind of dictates.
Yeah, that's the
what
hard
we
part
do.
is figuring out, because
Yeah.
Call
yeah, if we're gonna do the projects, we need to get the bid packets together and out now, so
Yeah.
that when this all does
Yeah.
open
like-
back up, you know,
Well, we can
people bid
still-
on them.
We can
so-
still do that, but we don't have to accept it then, correct?
Correct. I mean, yeah, we don't have to, you'd be paying the cost of what the advertisement is for putting that out.
Okay, so what I wrote down here, you want the Township Klein,
Yeah,
Gingrich Gap, DSA plus Township,
yeah.
and some added to the base too. I don't know if that's heavier rock you put in there or how that.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking 2 or 3 triaxle loads of number 4s, and then a triaxle load of 2A on top to cover it up. That's, in the grand scheme of things, that's minimal.
That's Gingrich Gap.
Yeah.
Okay, not DSA or. Number
It's gonna
fours.
get, we just need to put we need to go down, dig out the wet spots,
Yeah.
put number 4s in, put 2A on top of it. Then we are going to take the grader, if it works, and rip up the blacktop,
Yeah,
torn chip,
yeah,
roll it, just so we're not putting DSA with a
Yeah.
paver down on top of something that could potentially slide.
yeah.
And then we're gonna pay somebody to come in with a paver and put 6 inches of DSA
Okay,
down on top of
okay.
that to get the shape of our road
Right,
back.
so let's take this one step at a time then. Is there a motion to put the bid together and advertise for the Gingrich Gap project, or are we tabling that?
Yeah, I'll make the motion to advertise for the Gingrich Gap project.
Yes, I'll second that.
Okay, any further discussion on that?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries unanimous. Next would be tar and chipping.
Right, do we want to be minimal at that, or do we want to go to try and kind of catch up with that? Because like I said, in previous years, there wasn't enough of that done, in my opinion,
And there were
it's time to get
several
away from
roads last year that we intentionally skipped because of work that was being done around them.
Harder road because of low.
Harder,
Bridge being closed.
climb.
That.
Yeah, harder incline.
Yeah,
So harder definitely needs it done. That's a for sure. But then there was the question of Lower Georges Valley and the condition of that road, which is,
it seems like this winter, and even all the more salt that we put down this winter, that road, so much tree cover and traffic and, yeah. There's a lot of potholes on that road, and we're gonna need to do something in the near future, and obviously, we're probably not gonna be able to afford to pave it, so at some point, I'd like to, whether it be this year or next year, Township that to try and hold it together for a while. I like to agree with it.
Which road was that?
Lower Georgia.
Lower Georgesville.
That, I don't think was done since the beginning of when Larry was here.
Okay, so, well, Lingle
Portions of it.
Valley was 2A. We can get that one out of the way, huh?
okay, is there a motion to approve the finishing of placing 2A on Lingle Valley Road?
I would make that motion.
Yes, and I'll second the motion.
Any further discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries
Okay.
unanimous.
Now, so then we have Klein and Harder and Lower Georges that could be tar and chipped.
If you guys don't wanna do much, I definitely say Harder and Klein. And we have a
Stone on
pile of
Allison,
stone on Allison that was left over, and,
with the intention of,
For
doing-
tar and
Doing it.
chipping.
yeah, tar and chip, and either it's there, either Allison or Ridge, one of the two. I just didn't wanna do Ridge Road last year because of not knowing what we were gonna do with that with the PennDOT
Yeah,
thing,
yeah.
so.
Well, we have a substantial amount of money in liquid fuels, I mean, to do this, right? Are we holding back for something in the future?
so we were expecting to have heard about the multimodal transportation
Yeah,
fund
right,
grant
right.
by this meeting,
Yeah,
so that
So
we
that's
would then
still-
have a game plan. Well, that has been indefinitely pushed back. We have no idea when we're gonna find out about
Oh,
that. So my
okay.
thought is, well, at this point in the year, if we aren't gonna know anytime soon, even if we get it, but they don't award it until
yeah, Yeah,
the end of the year,
Yeah.
that'll push the whole project back another year. So
Yeah.
we might as well get the projects done we want to get done this year and not worry
well,
about
if,
what's gonna
one thing
happen with
about
that.
next year though is the liquid fuels money is going to be less, I would think, because people are driving now. I mean, that's gonna really sunk that fund.
I don't know. Sweeping up intersections, it sure seems like there's a pile of traffic.
It does.
Yeah, and the other day, we swept up the intersections along 45 on Klein
Yeah.
and Hart, or Klein and Shook, and
Yeah.
there's less traffic on 45 than there was on the back roads.
Well, I don't know. That's the sense I had. It may not be right. Gas is cheap, that's for sure. Is paving oil cheap?
I don't know that,
Yeah.
just, yeah.
Well,
Another thing that we could do is we could seal some of the cracks in some of the roads that are a little bit better. Developments. And maybe some of the roads in town, some of the roads that were paved or.
Is that something you can do sooner than later? So since we're kind of like, well,
Yeah, but that's
needing to
weather-
stay apart
That's
for,
weather pending though.
that's true.
well, do you want to tar and chip harder too? We could, I guess. Between Harder and Lower Georges, which one is needed the most? Harder?
I think Harder is a for sure.
Harder.
Klein is a for sure.
Okay.
And the majority of the stones sitting here for
Allison,
Ridge.
I would say not to do. I think we really need to look at Lower Georges as a whole and figure out what we want to do with that road to actually fix it. So I don't know that we want to tar and chip that one this year.
So you maybe do Allison then, or?
What were the ones you originally wanted to do this year? Harder, Klein, Allison, Ridge, and Beaver Dam.
Okay.
I would make a motion that we at least do those.
Harder,
Harder, Klein, Allison,
Allison.
Ridge, and Beaver Dam.
Do you want to do, is, this is up to you guys, obviously, but is Ridge with the whole PennDOT thing still, is that safe? I mean,
Is it safe?
yeah, I don't want to go
Spend money on
spend money
Ridge.
on Ridge Road if
something with
PennDOT comes back
PennDOT.
and says, we're taking this and you're getting,
Oh,
you know what I mean? That's why we didn't do it last year.
well, you could hold off on it, I guess.
I mean, that road's,
I suppose
that
that
was more of a maintenance thing than a Band-Aid, I guess, on that one. I mean, Allison's not horrible either, but I'd like to, if you keep up with that, I think personally it has to help somewhat. You put
I
tar
agree.
in cracks and you're letting them wear on stones versus your blacktop, so.
Okay, so you definitely do Beaver Dam, Allison, Harder, and Klein,
Yeah,
right?
And not do Ridge.
and not do Ridge until,
Hold off on Ridge, yeah, for a while. Okay. Can I do a motion for each one of those, or put them all together?
You can put them all together.
Right.
Yeah, I would put them all together. I'll make that motion to put those all together.
There's a motion to do Beaver Dam, Allison, Harder, and Klein, tar and chip.
Correct.
Okay, I'll second the motion.
Okay. Any further discussion?
Not here.
All those in,
Go ahead.
all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion carries unanimous.
And what Brandon was talking, do you need a motion? Do we need a motion for him to go ahead with culverts or anything, or can he just do that as he sees fit?
I think
Yeah,
that's just your
I
your regular
just wanna-
maintenance.
not that one really has more priority than the other, but if we're gonna go to fix a road, I'd rather go to that road and start on that.
Culverts,
I mean,
you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, I don't, if it was part of the grant on Bittner Hollow for them to do the pipes, why do I wanna do them if I don't have to? But we don't know.
well, do you need to do culverts on Beaver Dam, Allison, Harder, or Klein?
Well, there's probably one or two on every road that could use it, but I'm looking at, you know, like we were talking about Lower Georges Valley
Yeah.
or Green Grove, two of the main roads, if long-term, 5 years down the road, looking at paving them, or doing
Yeah.
something a little bit better, we need
Yeah.
to, I don't want to be stuck with a road 4 miles long that needs all the culverts replaced. And
Sure.
it being
Well,
next year.
which one would you work on, or would you work on several?
I'd rather pick one spot and go. But
What, would it be Lord George's?
It could be, it could be any of them. I mean,
Well,
we have some culvert pipe at the shop, it's already paid for, some.
Mhm.
So, some of them are already spoken for, and ones that are need replaced, but
mhm.
I'd like to do a little bit of them every year at least, so. I guess we can figure that out at different point.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have another meeting in the end of May. It was more that some of these projects that need bid,
Right.
we wanted to approve those
Yeah.
now so that we had
Yeah.
the time to get them advertised, so.
So, I'm just gonna get also culvert pipes when needed. No motion, but
Right. That was about it for those projects, right? Oh, do we want to pave the triangle? Because we'll need to put that out to bid as well.
I would say we should at this point.
what's that pay
It's
what?
a mess to take care of.
Pave,
We trimmed trees
pave
on
that
it
little strip
there to-
down in
Oh,
front
so
of
you
them
parking
Triangle
lot,
down
you
through
know?
there with
Little
pavement
strip
now.
by the fire hall.
by the fire hall.
Yeah, there's some really big potholes in there.
Okay. You get Tate or somebody to do that, or?
Well, we'd have to get
We have to-
Bids.
bid quotes.
I don't know. 'cause
It depends on how much it's gonna,
Yeah,
cost.
I thought he figured that to be under.
There's not enough there to ask home baker or something.
Well, they still might bid on it, I don't know. I don't know what.
so do we want to add that as part of the projects that
I
we want to
think we
do this
should.
year?
Yeah,
So I'll entertain a motion to move forward with either quotes or bid, depending on the threshold for that little strip of road that we're not sure what the name of it
There's a
is.
stop sign, I don't know what the name.
oh, this is that thing that goes around the edge.
Yes.
Okay,
I need a motion.
okay, a motion to pave the strip of road between Water Street and Fire Hall, headed east, the eastern section of the road between Water Street and Fire Hall. I don't know.
I'll second that motion.
Any further discussion?
None.
All those in favor? Aye, motion carries unanimous. So other than that, I think that's the list of road projects for this year. And you'll just keep up with your maintenance as,
I still think that's enough to keep us busy for a while.
yeah, I think so, on the conservative side. You guys the guys have been working all week this week, sweeping up
We've been sweeping intersections
Stones.
and in town and developments and
doing some pothole filling here
some
and there.
potholes in the mountains of stone, and in 2 days it got actually fit in the afternoon to work with the cold patch a little bit, but judging by next week's weather, if they're right, it's gonna be slow going again, so.
But I think it's been working well. You guys are in your own vehicles. Nobody's
Yeah,
using each other's vehicles.
Yeah.
You're staying far enough away
I got
from
the
each other.
gloves, I got the hand sanitizer, there's wipes over there, so they're.
I'll get Marcia and make them all mask.
Yeah.
Go like that.
I need that.
All right, that's enough on roads.
Okay.
If nobody else has any comments. Okay, we'll move on to COVID-19 Township preventative measures. We're still basically operating on the same plan, continuity of operations plan that we approved at that special meeting last month. Any changes or comments on any of that going on that we need to address?
None that I'm aware of.
I spoke with the fire company and the EMS today, just checked in with them to see how they were doing, if they needed anything. They both said they're they're still operating well. They're doing all right. The one comment with the fire company is they can't have any of their fundraisers for their just day-to-day operations. So that's becoming a little bit of an issue. So I guess we can post something about people making donations
Okay.
even without the fundraisers for their operational costs. The other stuff with the impact of COVID-19 is tenants in the building here questioning their rent. Did you want to comment on that at all, Doug?
Well, I'm thinking since any tenant or owner, no matter where they are, they would still have the overhead. In other words, water and sewer, fuel, trash collection, maybe some other items. What I wanted to do was add all those items up, get a cost per square foot, and then allocate it back to the tenants and suggest that that's what they pay, which is a much reduced rate from rent, and see how that goes.
Any comments or?
I have none.
Anything else regarding the COVID-19 impact? No.
Nothing here.
Okay. The census, basically just a reminder that the census collection is going on now, so people can go online and fill out their information for the census, or a card will be mailed to them that they can fill out and send. We want to encourage everyone to participate in the census because that's how they equate how much money we get from the federal and state government as well. So I know that a lot of people don't want to fill out that information, but it really does have a big impact on the financials for our community. So we want to encourage everyone to participate in that.
Yeah.
The municipal real estate taxes. We got an email this week from the commissioners about changing the penalty timelines for the real estate taxes, and it was recommended that the municipalities do that as well. So basically, instead of the late fees, instead of being penalized, I forget exactly what the date would be.
After September.
It's now after September if
Yeah.
we pass this resolution. So we would be looking to adopt resolution number 7 of 2020, resolution of Gregg Township, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, amending and supplementing the Gregg Township tax collection policy. And that is basically just to extend the deadline before incurring penalties, being penalized.
Okay. The proposed is the early payment is a 2% discount if paid by April 30th.
Right, that's not changing.
No. The face value is no discount if paid by May 1st through September 30th.
Right.
And then late payment is 10% penalty if paid after, on, or after October 1st. That's what the proposed is.
That's what the county commissioners have done as well, so.
I make a motion that we accept that.
Yeah, would you read that again, please?
The early payment is 2% discount if paid by April 30th.
Okay.
Okay, that's the same as what it
Same as
was.
it always was, yeah.
The face value is no discount if paid from May 1st through September 30th.
Okay,
Before it was May 1st through June 30th.
yes, okay.
Okay, and then a late payment is a 10% penalty if paid after, on, or after October 1st.
Okay, okay.
Before it was July 1st.
Yes, okay, all right. I will second the motion.
Any further discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries unanimous. Is there anything else that we need to discuss for the good of the order before we adjourn?
Nothing.
Anything you can think of, Pam?
Not that I can think of now.
I have nothing.
Okay. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
I will second it.
Okay, the next meeting is May 21st. Instead of the usual second Thursday, it's the third Thursday at 6:30. All right, thanks everyone for joining us and have a good evening.
Yeah.